All right, in this assignment, you're going to learn how to download all the elements that you see here in this illustration, and you're going to open them up one at a time, copy and paste them, and put them into a background and just arrange them. All right, so let me give you a few reminders on what to do when you're first starting a file. When you open it up, you're going to go to Window, Workspace. Make sure that it's on Essentials default. You might have to go to Reset Essentials if things need to get moved around. So the reason why you need that setup is because you want your Layers tab to be open. This is the tab that you're going to be using. You can see mine is already done. I have all my different elements that I copied and pasted in here to make this scene. So I'm going to give you a link to download each one of those, and you're just going to copy and paste them into the document. All right, so let's get started. Open up the first file that you're going to open up, which is the water background. And remember a couple things. If you do Control plus and Control minus, that zoom in and zoom out. If you put your space bar down, you get this hand and you're able to move your window around to see things. All right, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and open up the next thing I would like to open is, I think that the sand. So when you open up your files to copy and paste them, you're going to do Control A. That means select all. So if you go up here to select all, you see it's Control A. And you can see those little dotted lines. That means it's selected. So now we're ready to copy it. So Control C is copy. And then you can close this right here, this little X, because we don't need that anymore. And then you can do Control V and it pastes that in there. So let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. All right, really the only tool that you're going to need in this assignment is the Move tool, the very top, this plus. Because when you paste things in, it might come in the middle, so you just need to drag down the layers and move them however you want. And you can see over here in my layers, I now have this here. So I'm going to go ahead and be organized and name everything. And I'm going to open up the next file. And let's do the rocks. So Control A is select all. And this is the select tool. So if you have the move tool, you might not know if you got select all. So maybe click on the select tool to see the dotted line so you know you have that. Control A is select all. Control C is copy, and then you can close it out. Do Control V. Now you can see that these rocks and the rocks layer, let me just name them rocks, they are behind the sand, so I can't see them. So if you click on the side of your layer, over here on this gray area, just click there and pull it up and just let it go. Now we have the rocks on the top. You can get the Move tool and you can move them down to the bottom. The next thing I would probably paste in is, let's just do some coral. So I'm going to click on the selection tool right here, do Control A, see the dotted lines, Control C for copy, close it, and then do Control V. And then I'm going to name this Red Coral, and then get the Move tool and drag these over here. So continue to do that. Just copy and paste each one of those 20 files that you downloaded. Put them in your layers. Don't forget to just drag them in different positions if you want to move them around. If you want to make something bigger or smaller, you can just click on the corner and make something bigger, smaller. If you hold your mouse out here to the side, you see that little curve. If you wanted to rotate something, you can rotate it to be a different angle. You know, and then when you're done doing some of those transformations like that, sometimes you have to go up here to the top and press check. So that means committing to the transform. So press the check. Let's do one more. Let's get the yellow coral. Let me get the selection tool, Control A to select all, Control C to copy. I'm going to close that and do Control V. I'm going to name my layer yellow coral and then get the Move tool and I can move it. Now you don't have to press the check mark when you're just moving something, but like if I want to scale this, change the size or make any rotations or anything, then you have to go up here to the top and press check. All right, so continue to do that. I'm not going to do all 20 on here. I'm going to show you how to type your name. So every time you're done with your art, you need to type your name on your art. So get the text tool over here on the left, click this little T, and click on the bottom of your file. When you first click, it gives you this fake text. Just type right over it. So don't worry that it says something else. Just type right over it. If you want to change the color of it or size, you can just highlight it. You can go up here to the top. You can pick a different color. You can change the size right here. You can change the font right there. And then just click the check mark. And then you can see it becomes another layer. If you accidentally click on a bunch of times and get other extra text layers that you don't want, you can either just turn the little eyeball off to hide them, or you can drag them down into the little trash can. When you're done, you're going to want to go to File, Save, and you can name it Spongebob. And you're going to leave it as a PSD, a Photoshop file. Your computer's going to look a little bit different than mine because I'm on a Mac, but basically you're going to just do a file save and make a Photoshop file, and that will keep all of your layers. You want to keep a file that has all of your layers so you can edit it. And then you can also do the file that you want to turn in for grading. You go File, Save a Copy, and then choose JPEG. There's a couple different JPEGs. Just choose the first one on the list and say OK. This doesn't really matter. You can leave all that however it comes up, and that's fine. And the JPEG is the file that you can turn in.